Well, agenda of today is that we, instead of having a background theory introduction, we thought we showed you today what kind of reference projects we have already implemented with the ARC. And then we will hand over to Lucas and Elena, and they're going to show us what kind of new functionalities there are. We as always have a Q&A, and we have a quiz. And for the quiz, I'm already handing over to Mary.
So there is also another question, actually. So the first question of the quiz is, if you know the species of this bird, you can think about it, and then we will go over the answers at the end of the crew call. And the second question was, what distance can this species fly during the migration period? So you can think about it, and then you will let me know what you think.
Okay, so that's nature quiz that we always have in the beginning. Functionalities, that's what we discussed that we're going to show today, sort of. It's quite a long list, and we will discuss this after the reference projects. All right? Yeah, reference projects. The idea was that we just show you one or a few pictures of projects that we already did. You know that the ARC has been designed to really make place-based education easier and merge it or embed it in bioregional learning. And this is a project that was implemented in 23, 24. So it's actually a chronological order of projects that we already did. It was implemented in a school where I actually thought that walking routes would be the right thing to do, but it turned out that that school had a very large garden, and the garden was not used very much for learning. And so we set up in total 36 square meter vegetable garden with the kids. We used a best practice that is on the ARC. If you scan the QR code in the right upper corners, then you will get to these best practices. And over the course of a year, we collected, literally, I think, hundreds, thousands of impact points working on this project. So it was quite nice, and it was age group 5th to 8th grade, students from all classes participating. And you also see the volunteers that joined us back then. So this is project number 1. Project number 2, I left that slide in here because we might be doing it also again in Bad Radkersburg, was a DIY workshop to decorate trees. It was done in a small town in Lower Austria. And both the format for the decoration, the workshop, is on the ARC, as well as this school community where the students in the 7th grade, 3 classes, collected their impact points. And I think I present how many projects? 4, but I'm definitely also going to present this one. So already in February this year, we were in Bad Radkersburg for a rather short workshop together with students from the 10th grade at Borg Bad Radkersburg. And this project is related to this 5-country biosphere park, which connects 3 rivers into a 700-kilometer long river system. The school was set up as a community. The commons was set up in which the school is located. And that's the project where we're going to head to visit also Franz. I added here one slide just before the call because it is a tremendously interesting project. Not only is Austria part of it, but you see here in red the project area. It is in the Balkan territory. The river system stretches over 5 countries. And the Balkan has been 100 years ago the starting point of World War One. It is also right now, again, a very unstable territory. It's the EU external border. There are still traces of the Balkans War 30 years ago. Um, People try to live there in peace, but we also see that in Serbia, especially in Serbia and in Hungary, um, we have tendencies that could also really lead to a collapse of the EU. Especially Serbia is playing between the two blocks of Russia, China, and the EU. So it's a very interesting territory, and I think developing bioregional identities is one way um, to maintain peace. So we'll see how this unfolds down there. The next project is a school project again in Lower Austria, where we connected the school with a tree arboretum. We decide together with a class as part of an Interreg project between Austria and the Czech Republic, a trail. We used the story of Robin Hood. The students adapted that story, has a local connection because Robin Hood, or at least the legend of Robin Hood, um, was created during the period when Richard Lionheart was held in captivity not far from the school in Wachau. So everybody knows the story around here, and his evil brother, John, who was king when Richard was in captivity, well, took from the poor and made himself very rich. And yeah, I mean, the kids created that route. They simplified the story, then they played it. It was also a transgenerational project because the students from the lower secondary then turned into guides and guided the elementary school students from the same school on the route just a few months later. So we did the route in total, I think, 3 times. Again, school community on the left QR code, on the right QR code, there is the best practice in the ARC library as a template. And now I can hand over to Luba.
Is it possible to hear me? Because
you need to speak up. The speaker works very well.
You speak up, it's good, yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the pictures from the workshop and the class that we had in Gmünd. No, not Gmünd. Oh my God, it was a different place.
It was Schrems, very close to Gmünd.
From the Smithmark region. Knut did the workshop there. He gave some like educational part, like the lecture, and then it was also the creative workshop on tree decoration. Maybe we can add something about the theoretical part that they talked about. But basically, we developed the short route in the quest around the garden that they had there with many different tree species. We named it after Austrian traditional food recipes connected with how the trees were used in traditional culture and like the fruits of it and all these kind of things. And we played some outdoor games. It was a bit unusual project for us because we did it with people in like higher age category, because usually we do it with schools. Here they were around maybe 50, but it went really well and we got a lot of nice feedback. And actually after that we continued to work with them on a different project and we're still in touch. So I can also tell you about it for the next slide. Yeah, here it is. That workshop was in May and this one was already in June. This was in Gmünd. And there is a beautiful park called Schloss Park Gmünd near the castle. And on the 4th of June, when it was this heat day, they made like this kind of what's called they came together to promote the activities like the consciousness about the climate change, and they had some kind of installations about it. And we also developed a route in this Schloss Park. We connected it with the hurricanes because one of the trees in the park, it was destroyed by a hurricane in 2017. So we named the trees after different hurricanes. And later in the day, I guided the route. And it was also really nice. And in the end, we played a song together next to the huge oak tree. And yeah, so it was a very good experience of doing our projects with older people. And it gained a lot of nice like reaction from them. And yeah, so it means that the project is suitable for different age categories and can work really nicely in the local communities as well.
Actually, if I may interject now here, both these projects, Gmünd and Schrems, was also for us as a team a very good proof of concept, and also how powerful the ARC actually is, because we did this in a day. No, I mean we mapped trees, we mapped locations, and then turned it into a story. Actually, half a day. No, and then we handed it over. So it really shows if you know how it works. The system, it is a toolkit that can very easily create such interactive trails, and that's quite nice now. Okay, next one.
Yeah, and this is another project that happened this summer. It was in August. Maybe can you recognize by the pictures where it may happen? Any ideas?
In a forest.
Yeah, but like in which maybe ecoregion, or like, is it in Austria or is it in a different place? Anyone can hear me? Because I know the connection is not freezing. They can hear me, but they don't. Okay. But can just someone say it if you hear me, because I'm a bit excited.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So this was in Finland, quite
Okay.
far from Austria, but in May, during one of the trainings that we were invited, we met with people from different countries.
Can you repeat the location?
What again?
Can you repeat the location?
It was in Finland.
In Finland.
Yeah, in the central Finland, near Tampere, like in some suburban areas. And
Yeah, I
in
was
May,
there.
yeah, in May we met on one of the trainings. We met people from ICYE. It's now our partner organization from different countries, and they also host volunteers who come there for 1 year. And I made contact with one of the person from Finland, and she invited me to make this route in their volunteer camp in August, when the volunteers from all different countries came to Finland for their volunteering year. And this workshop was the introduction to Finnish nature. So basically, I used the ARC functionalities and developed a route and the quest there, and also made a little lecture about ecoregions. And we mapped the trees together with some of the local volunteers, and then we made this route all together with the camp facilitators, and it was very interactive. Like I gave basic knowledges about trees, but they also added a lot of information about cultural and traditional use of different trees and nature elements. And after all, it was like one of the best outdoor experiences I think that they had during this camp, because they also got a lot of nice reviews, and even Finnish people learned a lot about their own nature by this help of the art. So it was very like nice experience, and very motivating to keep spreading the knowledge and the toolkit that we have.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, I mean, we are now in a new project, again, Erasmus Plus project, and I think both this organization and their German counterpart are also going to join. So I think especially for youth, the ARC is a good tool. All right, next project. Thank you, Luba.
Something else that our team worked on were two routes and two quests that we created in food. One is called Celebratum, and yeah, that is the one I read. And the other one is called Gocelle. And yeah, Yuba and I divided the work, and we created two quests based on trees and natural features that are very interesting in the area. And I don't want to give you spoilers regarding the quiz, so I won't tell you the name of the birds that you can see in this spot in the middle. But one of the quests, actually, both of them were created around the nesting area of these birds. But we will talk about it later, maybe. And in the right photo, you can see.
So maybe you try really to speak up. Ant seems to have problems to understand.
Okay. In the right photo, you can see Knut on the day where he gave the info boards that we designed and created to the local municipality. So now when you go to Furt, you can find our info boards there, and you can scan the QR code and you can start to play these two quests.
Okay.
And yeah, this is another event that we worked on in July. So in July, we were joined by 4 short-term volunteers. And all together, we participated in this event that took place close to Furt in the monastery. And we organized a treasure hunt. And now the concept of the treasure hunt can be found actually on the Ark in the library. And so what did we do? We created this treasure hunt. We created costumes for ourselves, and each of us became, let's say, a wizard or a witch for the day. And we divided into stations inside the monastery, which is a very unique and beautiful location to host such an activity. And the kids were approximately, I think, around 50 kids, and were divided into groups. And they came to each of our stations and we played games with them. And at the end of the game, we gave them a small ingredient for a potion that in the end they had to brew in a cauldron. And so the whole idea was to talk about the giant sequoias that are in the main garden of the monastery. And we were talking about how they need a lot of water and how they are in distress because they don't receive enough water. And so the entire idea was for the kids to brew a healing potion for the giant sequoias. And it was very nice. This in the photo is the final step. You can see actually the big pot is the fake cauldron that we used. And they were given the potions and then they poured it on the roots of the giant sequoias. So yeah, that was an event that took place, I think, in 4 or 5 hours. It was very fun to dress up also. It was a very nice activity. And we think that the kids also had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a very nice experience. I think it was actually very much like a sort of an outdoor theater, no? Because we were sort of on the stage. But again, I mean, we used the Ark to map natural and cultural elements, and the workshop can be replicated. It's also on the Ark, so this is it's an interesting format. Yeah.
Sorry, where was the place with the sequoias?
It's a monastery, Gottwig, it's called.
Gottwig, yeah.
Near Furt, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, showing off a bit what we've done. It's not everything, but definitely nice pictures. Some of these projects are also going to be featured with more pictures and some description in our upcoming newsletter, due, I think, this Friday. That's it. So, that's what we did. Now we talk about what is new. So I'm handing over to Lucas and Elena. You're on mute, Lucas.
All right, thanks. So I'm going to share my screen, or maybe could you maybe go to the list of the things that are new, so that if
Yeah.
it is,
Need
because
to
some
just-
of them are
Yep.
yeah. So we're going to start with the faster picture upload. This is something that was done by Sonia, who is not here today. So I guess if you were using the Arc and mapping things in the outdoors, often you would be in a place with bad connection, not very good cell coverage. And Because the arc was always using the original of the photo that you took with the phone, for example, when you were mapping a tree or anything else, um, this upload could be several megabytes, with some phones even 10 megabytes or more. So this was causing the uploads to fail quite often. And we have introduced some improvements to that a few releases ago, basically retrying if there is a problem and having a clear feedback that this was the problem. But still, we did not resize the pictures to give you HD experience. But for this release, what we prepared is that the pictures are resized, so scaled down. We chose a 4K resolution to be future-proof, and transformed into or recompressed into a different format, which is much more efficient than JPEG. So next time you are out and mapping something, hopefully you just need to upload hundreds of kilobytes, and it's going to be a smooth experience. The next thing, faster loading of communities and observations. So as the arc grows, some of the ways that we use from the beginning are not efficient anymore and that take too long to process. So, for example, when you go into the list of communities, it takes a few seconds because the communities are sorted by the number of impact points in all of their activities and in all of their sub-communities, which means classes, school classes. So now it can take up to a few seconds. We've done a first batch of updates in here, which should be speeding it up a little, and another bigger update is in the working. Second problem that was quite big was in the observations. For example, for Knut, if I tried to visit his observations section, it would crash my browser, and I could heat the room with my laptop. So
Yeah.
um,
I have a high bioregional identity. I can crash his browser.
his bioregional identity is very high, 64%. And so let's have a look. This is something that Helena was working on. So if you go into the observations now, it loads the first 72 observations that you have done. And then when you reach the bottom, there is like a loading of more stuff, and it gives you more. So it doesn't load everything at once. Well, that's interesting that you have so many of. Maybe that was the reason you've been observing Utis too much.
I've been observing what?
You've been observing this cherry plum too much. Okay, I better close it before it crashes my browser again. No, so apparently there is a problem with the data in here as well. But yeah, we don't load anymore all of the observations, but only the amount that can fit on your screen and shortly after you scroll.
Yeah. So it's a sort of a delayed loading that is now in place.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We went for a system called Novu, which is an open source project where and doing exactly the thing that we need. It's all nice and shiny. It was much more difficult to bring it in than it seemed like. I almost didn't sleep some nights. But it is now in, and you should be seeing an icon of a little bell on the top, of your arc, which currently is quiet. And maybe I can show you what it looks like when you create a new account, because what we brought in as the first thing is the welcome message for new users. So I'm gonna create a new account on the Arc and show you what it looks like. I'm gonna use my personal email with some password I already have. Okay, the Arc is welcoming me. I need to put my name. And I still need to verify my email first. So I'm going to go and do it. This is, you cannot see it now because it's in my email client. And it's coming. I have verified. And now, when I'm in the Arc, I will receive my first notification, which, oh, sorry, this is my normal profile. I need to get to the new profile. And let me just reload so there is not the verify bar anymore. And yeah, if you have a notification, there is a little red dot. And you can see an inbox. So you being welcomed. And if you tap the notification, you can go to set up your profile. So we kind of nudge people to put the profile picture and some more information about them.
Yeah, mindful nudging.
And if I check my email, meanwhile, the same system has sent a nicely formatted message. Just let me log in so you can see it. I hope there is no NSFW stuff in my inbox. Welcome on board. And I need to show the images. Yep, so here is our welcome message, which looks the same as it was yesterday, but it is going through a very different system now, which is this no notification system. Yep, so that's it for what I can show you now. I maybe a little thing that is already integrated in here. You can already go into settings and you can see all the kinds of notifications that there are, and you can already disable them. There could be, for example, notification about new mappings that need to be reviewed, or notification about someone new coming into your community, right? So with this, you are able to simply disable what you don't want to be getting if it's spamming you. And the options to do the digest and things like that, this we need to still enable and implement in this app. One more thing that we hope to achieve with this is to move the translations of all the notifications into our weblate. I will maybe quickly show it so that you can see how the translations work. Basically, this is now to translate the Arc, the web front end. So we would like to add all the notification text in here as well, so that it doesn't have to be managed by the developers, but by anyone who would like to help out and translate.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a wish list to Lucas Santa Claus slash. This is an enormous gift. This is really great. Maybe also cycling back to what I discussed this morning in Bad Radkersburg at this upper secondary school. It's a a bilingual school. They teach both Slovenian and German. There will be a dedicated teacher leading students to translate the ARC into Slovenian, and all the content they create will also be translated in English. So this is then, of course, a brilliant tool. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Now there is still, of course, some work ahead. All the notifications have to be switched there, and all the things that we like to notify about, and it still needs to be added. There is also a web interface in which new notifications can be created kind of in a simple way, even by non-developers. So I'm going to share
Like a newsletter, basically.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Cool. And then from the list that we wanted to talk about today is also the tech support chat. I'm already not sharing because I didn't manage to finalize this before the call. We used to have a forum software, a forum called Discourse in the past, but it was a bit ahead of its time, and we were not able to moderate it and to really nudge people with problems to go and open a topic in there. So we had a call last week, and we decided that we're gonna open this, and I thought it's gonna be a matter of a single command, but it's a little broken now. So that's still going to take some time. And also I need to move it to a stronger server. But yeah, should be back and up quite soon. And then we will be linking to it from inside of the app and really sending people with problems there. We were thinking about two approaches. One approach is to have like one big chat room where people come with problems. This sometimes people prefer this because it feels a bit easier. The input field is much smaller than when you are composing a forum post. But the disadvantage is that it's just a long thread of messages, and you can never find anything, and people will keep coming back because web search will not help in this case, because this kind of for chat is not indexed by any search engine. So that's why we went for this course. And yeah, so next call, I hope to show it off to you. And that's it from the big things. There's been a lot of changes under the hood. Sorry, Franz, I will just finalize. There have been a lot of changes under the hood. We've been updating some components that we haven't touched for a long time, improving the developer experience. Where Helena has been writing a lot of tests, which basically will show us in advance that we break something so that you don't have to complain about it to us. Because honestly speaking, the ARC has gotten quite big and it's quite a job to maintain it. And every time you are adding something and reusing some parts, there's a very high risk of breaking something else. And of course, now the amount of scenarios that you would have to test by hand, it's too much. So many new tests and hopefully many less bugs. That's it. Sorry, Franz, you were.
Yeah, it's a little bit beside the point because, and I don't want to put any additional burden on you, but Knut and I have been discussing the value of having a wiki as a kind of multidimensional knowledge repository, and unfortunately, or what should I say, there is a fantastic wiki engine that is totally unsupported, which I always wanted there to be a support community. That's called the ProWiki engine, created by Helmut Leitner. It's, as my knowledge, to my knowledge, the only fractal completely fractal wiki that exists out there. It has really unlimited depth, and you can create any kinds of sub wikis on it, and it's very well thought out. We should really discuss that separately. But if there is at any point this consideration, I would like strongly to advocate for reviving this wiki and finding a way that the developer community takes care of it.
Yeah, I feel you. It cannot be us for sure, not me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah. We actually started a wiki and it's offline now because I didn't put a bot protection thing and it was spammed a lot. But we choose MediaWiki because there is a big organization behind it and people know it, people know the syntax, people know it from Wikipedia. So it's also easier for people to use something that they already know and that they are used to. Yeah. So we'll also bring the wiki back, but first the forum, because forum people come to ask questions. For wiki, you need to be upfront to fill it up, right? You need to basically come up with the structure and stuff like that. So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to add, that we discussed how to actually, what to do when. And first, we need a forum where people ask questions so that we get the content that then could be handled in a wiki. But it will be a long time, I think, before we really gonna do this. At least that's how I understood it. But anyway, thank you, Franz, also for bringing this up. For our purpose currently, we really want to restart the forum. And maybe connected to this, the last point also on our agenda is that we designed a training that's already, I think, under the way for 2 years, but now it's officially online. So we have a Lernort-Mentoren training, or in English, a community mentor training, where we basically in 3 hours go with people that are interested to run a learning space through the functionalities of the Arc in a very standardized manner. We give them assignments that the trainer, anybody can be a trainer, basically presents on a large screen, and people then do it on their mobile phone or on their desktop, on their laptop. And in that way, we can bring the Arc into a school community, for example. And we actually had yesterday a meeting with a school here in St. Pölten, and they will even plan it through an official training for their teachers. And that's a very promising way to spread knowledge and create master users if you want so. But then the documentation is, of course, still missing. And this is what we will kickstart with the forum.
nice.
That was such a lot of information, at least for me. I don't know how everybody else feels. We usually have this slide, the blue slide where two heads are spilling over. I'm not going to share this slide now, but if you have any ideas, then that's the time to give feedback to Lucas and Elena. Anything? Anybody?
It's just amazing now to see the notifications. I'm really happy about it, and I think it will be easier to in the future to manage, new mappings and new commons, new communities. So I think it's a really powerful tool. Yeah. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, really.
Very cool. We will add first WordBF, everything, and then we can
Yeah, of course.
maybe add like 2 notifications a week or something like that. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
slowly build it up. I know that often just people don't come back, and you need to make effort to find that there is something.
Yeah, and a very basic application is, for example, if you start a learning community and you have somebody new joining as a member and you're not being notified, how can you accept them? So it's a lot of friction that I think the notifications are going to resolve. It's going to be really nice. Promising. Okay. If I share again the slide deck and we move into, I think, the quiz, the last part of the quiz. Thanks again, Lucas and Elena. I need to go here fast forward. Where are we? Yeah, so this is just wrapping it up. So the notification center was definitely the most important sharing today, receiving emails and also in-app notifications about things happening in your community commons and ecoregion. Then coming very soon, a forum where we can provide first level support to users and maybe even discuss ideas on how to move forward with this open source project. And the third, I think, really important item is that we have this training now that makes it possible to, within only 3 hours, learn how to master the basic functionalities of the ARC and really share this knowledge with a larger group of people. Yeah, the idea is that we make place-based education really spread. And next call, I have here scheduled December 17th, if nothing else comes here into our way. I think the idea is that we generally kind of scale down the rhythm and maybe have less calls, less newsletters, that we also have here in the team, both development, but also for us in St. Pölten, a little bit more headspace and room to breathe. December 17 would be Winter Solstice. We have just celebrated fall equinox. I think having 4 larger calls, but with a substantial time to prepare, does make a lot of sense. And having said this, I'm handing over again to Mary for the quiz.
So for this quiz, we chose this bird as the subject because, as I said before, it was one of the main characters of our Zellergraben quest. So the first question to you is, do you know this bird? Can you name the species of it? Anyone?
Sorry.
I cheated, I know it. But it's
Yeah.
not a kingfisher. Okay.
Nope, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's not a
Yeah.
kingfisher. It's something else.
The colors are a bit similar, but it's not a
Yeah.
kingfisher. Yeah. Anyone? Adri?
A hint, you can say that the bird has a name that refers to what he's eating.
Yeah, good job. Yes. Yeah.
Huh? It's an ice cream killer.
I think I know the name in Spanish, but I'm not sure I know the English name.
Try in Spanish.
In Spanish is abejaruco. I know for sure.
Okay. Well, in English, it's called bee eater.
Teacher, okay.
Yeah.
In German, Bienenfresser.
Okay. Yes. And there are actually several species of bee eaters in the world. This is the European bee eater, so Merops apiaster. And as I was mentioning, this is a photo that I took actually during the walk of Zellergraben. And we were there during the breeding season, so there were a lot of birds flying around, and they are quite easy to identify thanks to the call, which is quite unique. And the colors, of course, they are very beautiful birds, very colorful, so they are a beautiful sight. So, okay, if you go on, we have the other question, of course, what distance can they fly during the migration? So here I put 4 options, and what is the maximum distance, let's say, that they can fly? What do you guys think? Anyone thinks 1,000 kilometers? Raise your hands. 2,000? 4,000? Anyone?
Maybe 4 or 8. I'm sure they are very.
Yeah. And someone says 8,000.
It depends where they travel. 4,000 would be actually, I think, also good.
It's like to South Africa, it must be like 8,000.
Yeah. So the solution is in the next slide. Can you click again, actually? Yes, thank you.
Wow.
You can see the migration routes. Of course, there are several. The maximum distance is from Bulgaria to South Africa, and it's more than 8,000 kilometers, actually. But the minimum distance is 3,000 kilometers, so it's quite impressive, the distance that they can fly, and they travel around 300 kilometers per day. So, yeah, they are quite small birds, actually, but, migration is an extremely interesting topic. There are still many mysteries actually about it, like how they can do it. But it was very interesting when I started it in the university, and I was always amazed by the distance that they can fly, like such tiny animals. 8,000 kilometers is simply, for me, mind-blowing, but I don't know what you think, but it's really nice. And yeah, this map shows from Germany, from these areas, they usually fly a bit to the north of Africa. They don't reach like South Africa. From Germany, they reach I can't pronounce it.
Angola.
Yeah, Ivory Coast. Yeah. But yes, this was the solution to the quiz.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. Love the quizzes.
Yeah. Well, that was it. Let's do a quick recap. How was the meeting for you? And it's also an invitation. I really would like to keep this structure of sharing reference projects. I'm pretty sure in 3 months we will have new projects to be shared. And if you have projects on the ground, whoever is going to watch also the recording, then please do so. Share with us, and one picture and a little bit of information, then we know what is happening on the Ark and somewhere else. We anyway do now, no, because of the notifications and stuff like this, but it's always a personal sharing much better. So who would